Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're trying some new makeup, at least it's new to me. The star of today's video will be this Glamlite palette. It came in the PR packaging, but the palette itself is a lot smaller. I'm talking about the Glamlite Ice Cream Dream palette. This one came out a couple of years ago, but I've been wanting to try it for as long as it's come out. And now it was on sale at Boozy Shop, I think, so I decided to pick it up as my first palette of 2022. I can't wait to play with this. I also went to the drugstore yesterday and picked up some stuff. I have the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation. This is a classic one. It's the matte and poreless one. I have it in the shade 100 Warm Ivory, which I think will be a nice match. So yeah, this was on a major sale, so I thought we could give it a try. I also have something from the drugstore's own brand. I went to the Kruidvat, and in case you're from around here, they actually have their own makeup line now, and it's quite extensive, and they have blush sticks. So I picked up this nice pinky one. This is in the shade number 10 Soft Peony. And then also from the same brand, I have this Lash and Glue liner. I actually went there to buy the one that Kiss makes, but this one was a lot cheaper, so I figured we could give this a try. And that's all the new makeup I have for today. I'm going to do a full face. I'm going to supplement with stuff that I already owned, and we're just gonna have a fun early spring look together. Because the Ice Cream Dream palette is very spring appropriate. But like I said in my last video, for me, winter and spring sort of both really compare to pastel tones, for me at least. So I think we can have some fun with this. Quickly, before we get started, I want to thank you so much for clicking on my video. My name is Cecile, I'm 28 years old, I live in the Netherlands, and I try to upload 2 to 3 times a week with makeup related content, and I would love to share it with you. So if that sounds interesting to you, then please consider subscribing. Now let's get into the video. I'll zoom you guys in because we're going to get started, and I see that I need to add a book. I just redid my hair. My mom just dyed it. I think it's okay. Still a little bit darker than these parts, but I think it looks nice. So I already primed my eyes using the Glamlite icing primer. Yeah, that seemed to be appropriate, but this is also my favorite primer. I use it all the time. So now let me show you the palette again. This is what it looks like. You have these neutrals on top and then these pastels on the bottom, and there are corresponding shimmers to everything, and I can't wait to try this formula. I know Glamlite is amazing. It has a nice big mirror. So yeah, I think this is going to be great. I'm going to go into the shade Cookie Monster, which is this periwinkle blue. I'm going to put that in my crease. I don't think I'm going to do anything too complicated today. But you can expect some sort of rainbow cut crease tutorial very soon. Nice, pigmented. I remember when this palette came out, I think it was not the last summer, but the summer of 2020. And I had my eye on it, so I started watching pretty much every tutorial on YouTube that was made with this palette. Wow, that's really pigmented. If I'm recalling correctly, Karen Harris also reviewed this palette, and these tones actually worked on her skin tone as well. And she said she never likes pastels because they always look so ashy on her. She has a medium tan complexion. But these looked fine, she said. So I can see that. I see they're very pigmented. I want to add another shade. There isn't really a dark blue in this palette. So I'm going into Honey Lavender, which is this shade over here, and it seems to be a little bit deeper. Going to put that more towards the outer corner. It doesn't give me a lot of depth. Does give a lot of fallout, this palette. Just an observation. Now I'm going into Mint Chocolate, which is this minty shade. And I'm going to put it, wow. That's so bright. I personally really like pastels on me, but I'm very pale, so they always work on me, and on me they're actually very bright, especially when they're as pigmented as these. I'm cleaning up my brush and I'm just going to go over the edges of everything. So now I'm taking a smaller smudger brush and I'm going into the shade Honey Lavender again. I'm going to put this underneath the lower lash line. I think this palette would be beautiful using only the shimmers too. But I wanted to make a more traditional look today. And then I'm going into Mint Chocolate and putting that on the inner part of the lower lash line. I'm just going to connect it in the inner corner. Alright, that's it for the mattes. Going to use the same smudger brush and I'm going into French Vanilla, which is the white shimmer shade. Let's see how bright this is. Oh, that looks alright. Quite often these pale white shades turn out to be more of a gold when you apply them. I'm also putting this in the inner corner. It doesn't really stick very well. I feel like I should have used the glitter glue. Yeah, I feel a lot of fallout falling on my face. I'm going to try with my finger. See if I can add a little bit more. Doesn't appear to be making much of a difference. I am going to take my finger for the shade Cotton Candy, which is this beautiful blue shimmer shade. And I'm going to put that on the center of my lid. That blue is beautiful. Alright, I think some liner and lashes are really going to make this come together. But these shades are very pretty. I especially like the mattes. I didn't really love the white shimmer shade, but it's alright. It did what it needed to do. So I wiped off all the fallout. Now we're going to try the lash glue liner. But because I do want to wear some mascara before putting on my lashes, so I'm going to start with that. Oh, let me put on some eyeliner too. I'm going to use this pastel lavender eyeliner from LA Girl. Yeah, that looks nice. And then I'm taking my Essence Lash Princess mascara and I'm just doing a light coat top and bottom. Personally, I feel like this is enough for a look like this. But I really want to try out the glue liner, so we are going to add some lashes. So the lashes I'll be using are my very used and abused Wispies by Ardell, but they still work fine. These are the only lashes that I have on hand right now that aren't super bold. I feel like that will clash with this makeup look. Now the great thing about this liner product should be that you don't have to wait for it to dry before adding your lashes. That's something I'm always struggling with. So let's see. I'm going to come a little bit closer. This is kind of tricky with your mascara already on. Let me do a quick wing. Alright, that's one liner applied. Now let me That actually works really nice. That went pretty easily. What do you think? Looks pretty nice, right? Yeah, this is not the easiest liner to use, but it is workable. I don't think it's the best idea to use this one on its own. I think maybe you need to put down your regular liner first. Although the second part went a lot quicker. Where's my lash? Great, it fell on the ground. I think that side went a lot better. I'll need to add a little bit more to this wing. Then maybe a little bit more to this inner corner right here. Yeah, you just have to make confident strokes and then it'll work. But I like this product. Went on very easy. So now the eyes are all done. Let's continue into the face. Alright, I put up my hair and I put some ABH Brow Freeze in my brows. And now we can continue into the Maybelline Foundation. So I think this foundation has been around for quite a while, but I never tried it before. Like I said, I have the shade 100 Warm Ivory, and I felt like this would be a good color for me. I hope it's still light enough. It is getting a little bit darker outside. I did change the settings, but let's see. So I just put some on the back of my hand. It's a very inelegant tube, I must say. Alright, as you can see, it's not a very liquidy foundation, but the color seems to be good. So I'm going to take my foundation brush. Looks a little bit light, but I think it's okay. Let's see if it oxidizes. Oh, by the way, I didn't put any face primer on. I wanted to see how the foundation performed on its own. That's my dog, or sort of my dog. So right away this foundation looks pretty matte, but it doesn't look dry. It looks sort of moussey. I actually really like the finish of this. This foundation actually reminds me a little bit of the Maybelline Age Rewind, the concealer that I tried about a year ago. It's just a little bit more dry, but it does blend out beautifully. I feel like this could be a very long wearing foundation. I'm definitely going to try and keep it on as long as possible today, but I'll do a proper wear test too and keep you posted at the end of the month when I do my ranking. I have a little bit more left on my hand. I'm going to see if I can build up the coverage right here on my cheeks. Yeah, it definitely covered my redness a little bit better that way. I don't think this is a full coverage foundation. I think it's a solid medium coverage, but I like that. So far so good. And because I just mentioned it and I do have it on hand, I'm going to use my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. In Europe it's called the Instant Eraser. I'm actually almost done with mine. I have this one in the shade Cool Ivory. The lightest shade, and as you can see it's pretty brightening on me, but this is a more light to medium coverage concealer, so that's fine. Just going to put some everywhere to highlight. And the word I would use to describe this concealer and also the foundation is moussey. So it's like a little bit more velvety, a little bit more smoothing, but it's not very liquidy. I used a little bit too much concealer, so let me take 5 minutes to blend this out. And as always, I'm taking my finger to blend out the last bits of this. See, that looks nice. I think the combination with this concealer and this foundation is actually lovely. Don't think I'll need a lot of powder, but before we get into powder, I'll use my new blush. Like I said, this is from the Kruidvat. It's the Lip and Cheek Balm in the shade Soft Peony. So I'm just going to put this on my cheeks. Oh, it's not extremely pigmented. That's actually a plus with blush. For me at least. And I do have deeper shades. This looks great. Looks great with the eyeshadow too. It's a nice balmy texture. It's a little bit more translucent, but I like it. It's not something I would usually pair with this kind of foundation, but it works. Yeah, it's a nice, fresh, springy look so far. Let me just quickly put some NYX Lift and Snatch in my brows. That complaint that I had about this, that it looked a little bit too red, I actually don't notice that anymore. It looks like a perfect taupe right now. So I think the trick to this is to let your brow product, like the Brow Freeze, set as long as possible. And then it doesn't oxidize for some reason. So I'm going to use a little bit of my Essence Brighten Up Powder. And I think I'm just going to set my concealer with this. Let me do this. Because the texture of this concealer is a little bit thicker, you don't get a lot of creasing with it. But I do always like to set my concealer just in case. I'm not going to set the foundation though. It is a little bit later on the day, but I'm going to see if I can do a proper wear test for as long as possible. But like I said, I suspect that on me this foundation will last a very long time. Longer than I have the time for today. We definitely need a little bit of bronzer though. So I'm going into my Glowish bronzer by Huda Beauty in the shade 1 Light. With this more pinched bronzer brush. This bronzer is definitely a little bit more subtle and I like that with this look. I'm feeling the foundation now and it actually feels completely set. I think it's pretty transfer proof. And I don't have any transfer proof foundations yet. I did have the Benefit foundation once, which pretty much had the same kind of finish as this one, but I finished it up, so I think it's nice to have a transfer proof foundation for when you really need your makeup to last. I think I'm blushy enough like this. I'm not going to set it with any powders, but I will use a little bit of highlighter. Let me see if I have a pretty one. I kind of feel like using my Dior highlighter. This is the new formula in the, wait, what is this called? The Dior Forever Couture Luminizer in the shade number 3 Pearlescent Glow. This one is sort of white, but it has a bit of a blue reflect. So I'm just putting a little bit over here, not too much. And for lips, I'm going to see how this lip balm looks, because it is a lip and cheek balm. I usually only use these on the cheeks, but let's see if they are pigmented enough. Oh, there was some foundation on it. It feels pretty nice, but the color payoff isn't enough for me. I think I'll need a little bit more. So I'm going to take this lipstick from Max Factor in the shade 725 Simply Nude. It's a little bit more pale. I'm just mixing it in with that lip balm. Yeah, I like an actual lipstick a little bit better. So this is the finished look. I really enjoyed all the products that I tried today. Let me know what you think of this look. I know it's pretty out there, but I really like the lash glue. I like the foundation. Look in the description box, I'll add some more information about wear time. And yeah, I think this was a very successful run. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.